Hey, it's Chrissy and Amanda.
Two girls from Saskatchewan, Canada, living the Reiki life while working the 9 to 5.
Hey everyone, welcome to the podcast. You're here with Amanda and I. And whether you're a first-time listener or an OG listener from the beginning, welcome. Thanks so much for showing up today to hear what we have to say. We have a great topic to share with you today. We want to dive in to, you get your level Reiki 2, now what? Like, how do I start that spiritual business? There's so many different things that we have done through trial and error that we wanted to share with you. And this even applies to any sort of spiritual business that you find yourself venturing onto. So we have lots of good insight and tips to share with you. But first of all, we want to share updates about what's going on in our world. So, hey, Amanda.
Hey. Yeah, so my quick update for this episode is, remember we had Megan on from Mountain Aura Crystals?
Yes.
Am I saying that right? Yeah. Okay, so funny. So I used to have these 2 crystal bracelets, and I had that Dalmatian stone that Sue gave me. I remember I got that at that tea we were at. It was just super pretty pink and white with the black. So I loved it. And then I had this howlite bracelet as well that I got at a trade show. So this howlite bracelet was the first one that kept wanting to leave me. You know how we say crystals kind of like serve their purpose and then they almost like they expire for some reason from you. They kind of like go through their journey and then when they're done, they're done. So that howlite bracelet kept like falling off my wrist, kept getting flung off. I'd take off a shirt, it would fall on the ground. Like it was just like super weird stuff. And then I was grocery shopping at Costco and it like caught on like a box and it went like it was gone. It was like there was no coming back. And I was like, oh. And in the same breath, I was like, well, I guess that crystal in me had, it's been through a lot. It took on a lot of energy. And now it's done. And then I lost the Dalmatian stone one when I was at the spa at Moose Jaw. Oh, yeah, I left it in my robe, and it was like, well, that's gone. And I was like, that's so funny that both of those at the same time like left me. But I was like super sad about the second one. I was like, oh. But I thought it was funny since we were talking about Megan with crystals. So like sometimes you guys like crystals kind of run their course, kind of like anything, you kind of have a season with them and they're done. I just thought it was kind of funny when I was thinking back to that episode. I learned a lot about crystals and stuff and I really like working with them. I have a ton in my room. So, oh well, c'est la vie.
Oh, yes. And as you share that, remember when I made matching moonstone bracelets for us and then yours broke in the grass? I think your nephew grabbed it or something.
Oh, I'm like, do I? Yeah, I think I do.
It was like so those cloudy white.
Yes.
Yes. And then mine broke shortly after and I tried to find all the pieces and I was going to put it together, but it just didn't feel right.
Yes.
So I honored that. And
yes, I do remember.
Yeah, it's so funny how that happens. But that Dalmatian bracelet, I was jealous when you won that one because it was so pretty. And those were like genuine crystals. Like those were really nice. But you know what? If you ever feel called to howlite again, I have an abundance of howlite beads from my jewelry days. So I have like really like big ones and small ones. So if you ever want me to craft something up, let me know.
Yes, I know that Dalmatian one was so heartbreaking. I wore that thing every day.
Oh, did you? Oh, every day. Oh,
I know, but that's okay. What about you? What's going on with you?
Yeah, I had a Reiki session. This was probably about a month ago, and she shared with me, like we have a chat before we do the Reiki session, like what's going on? What do you want to work on? And she said another practitioner told her that she has energy stuck in her knees. There's all this stuck. And I was like, huh? I was like, what? Knees? I was like, I've never worked on, like, I've never been really intentional about the knees and anything. So I thought that was really weird. So I was like, okay, whatever. Let's tune into the knees and see what happens. And I've been following this one book. They have like this sequence of 17 different positions for a full body treatment. And I've had amazing results for this treatment, like spiritually and physically. I just adore it. I really love it. But anyways, the 15th position is 2 hands on the back of the knees. And I was like, what? I was like, this is wild. So I was reading this when I was doing the Reiki, and, you know, I found a couple different things around the knees, but this one talks about like how the energy can get stuck, because you know how we're meant to ground ourselves and ground our energy into the earth, and then the earth, you know, disposes of it, and then we bring up the other energy back up into our body. So if the energy is stuck on the knees, we can't ground ourselves. And it's so funny because I have problems grounding myself, and I always blame the root chakra. And here I believe it is my knees. I've had a lot of issues with my knees. Even growing up, they would swell up, and they thought I had arthritis when I was little, and I don't. But so I find it very interesting, you know, when, you know, the medical community can't find something through a bunch of different tests physically. I find that it is a mental, or not mental, it is a spiritual aspect. So yeah, I found that fascinating. And then I got this other book, and she goes on a deep dive into the knees. And I was like, what? Why is this all coming up? And, you know, when I know I've shared in the past about reading books, is I don't have time to sit here and read a book front to cover with any books I have. So what I do is I pick up the book and I tell the book, show me what I need to know in this moment. And then I'll read a couple chapters, get what I need. I'll put that book back on the shelf. Maybe I'll visit in 6 months or tomorrow. But anyways, with this book, she talks about how the knees are a way we experience freedom. And I thought that was really interesting, like inner and outer freedom. And there's an old Chinese proverb that says healthy, strong legs means a healthy, strong person. Because if you think of our legs are what takes us through life. And if the knees are moving free, we can move through life with fluidity and without friction. But if they're stuck, it's like we can't make that step forward, and we can feel stuck in like our relationship, a job, a situation, and it feels like quicksand where we can't move our knees. So, and then she even broke down the right knee is about obstacles or challenges moving forward, and then the left knee is about relating to letting go. Like, can you let go of things? Are you being stuck in something? And then she even goes on further to talk about like how, well, yogis sitting in the lotus pose, you know, they're engaged in a lot of different vigorous moves that work with the knee mobility. And then to take it even further, the knees can be connected to a different chakra. So say you are over someone's knee with one hand, guide your hand to see which other chakra is like a hot spot, and say it's over the throat. So it's like, where am I stuck with communication that I can't, you know, speak my mind? I feel really stuck. I can't share from my heart. Or maybe go over the solar plexus, and maybe it's I'm stuck with my motivation or my self-esteem, like what's going on, or the heart, you know, I could go on and on. So I thought it was so cool. And I really wanted to share this experience with everyone, because I know a lot of our listeners are Reiki practitioners. So I wanted to see if anybody else has had experience with the knees, or if it's something that they want to incorporate in their practice. And I will link the 2 books below that I've been reading. The one is The Spirit of Reiki, and then the other one is Electric Body, Electric Health. And that book is like fire. Of course, I haven't read it all, but what I have read is amazing. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I actually teach about that. So
Oh, you do?
yeah, absolutely. The body is always speaking to us in that way. So the knees are all about our movement forward and how we are moving forward through life. So, right? So that right side of our body is our masculine. So how are we moving forward in our present moment if you're having pain on the right side?
Mm-hmm.
And then the left is our feminine and past. So yes, if you're having knee issues with your left knee, it is about like, okay, well, what aren't you letting go of from the past that's hindering you from moving forward?
Right.
And it can even be both knees, right? Like you're just having a hard time letting go or taking those next steps. And like Louise Hay even talks about this too. I have a good book in my Reiki room. It's called Heal Your Body. And it talks about that too. So it was funny how you said about like flexibility. So the knees being flexible, she actually says that too. Like, what aren't you willing to give into to, again, take those steps forward? So I'm always paying attention to stuff like that and just seeing with my clients because it's a huge one. And, you know, I used to have knee problems as a kid and I always chalked it up to like being a bat catcher because I used to play a lot of ball. And it's like,
Right.
no, you guys, like my knees are fine now. Like,
Oh,
like
right.
they might tweak me every once in a while, like when I'm doing stairs, but it's just like now that I'm like more in alignment with myself, like my root and everything else feels so much better. It's wild.
It is wild. The physical body is a mirror to what is going on in the energetic body. And also, if you think about all those knee replacements people get, where are they stuck in their life? Where didn't they feel freedom? Where didn't they move forward when they wanted to? Because you think of that generation that is getting the knee replacements and what they went through and they buried their emotions. And yeah, I could go down the rabbit hole of that. But yeah, that's so fascinating. And I love that you're teaching that already.
Yeah, it's good knowledge to know. People, you'll find people have things all on the one side of their bodies. So it's either like
Yeah.
they're dealing with stuff in the past or they're dealing with stuff in the now. And it's, yeah, you'll notice little commonalities like that.
Yeah. Big time.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
let's do a quick astrology update for people, and then we'll get into our Reiki circle date. Make sure we mention that. But okay, so November 5th, we have a full moon. It's called the full beaver moon in Taurus. Taurus is the Empress card. That's, for some reason, I almost was like, what is it? So maybe someone else knows that better than me, but it's also an earth energy. This is a really good time to review your budgets. So Taurus is right, that really grounded energy. And it's about to get real with your finances. So too, our finances, as we're talking about, is really about our root and our security and our stability, right? So we really need to kind of make sure we are focusing on just stability there. And also when we're looking at contracts is what I also read too, like making sure that we're going over the fine details of those things and also look into your homestead as well. Like, how can I bring that nurturing, grounded energy into my home? And is there anything that too is a time to release with this full moon in Taurus? Like, especially this time of year, we're kind of wrapping things up here. So what can I really do to hone things in on the home front? And then we got a new moon in Scorpio, which is happening, I believe, November 20th. Yes. And Scorpio is the death card. It's also a water sign. So the death card is all about those deep inner rebirths. So it feels like everyone I have been doing Reiki for right now is going through this ending cycle, which is crazy because it's like perfect, right? We're in that year of the 9. So it is that like end of a cycle. And then we're going to go into year 1 next year. So new beginnings come in. So anything you need to kind of wrap up to get that new energy going, like do it. Take the time. Even if that means like letting something go, having forgiveness, kind of getting kind of closure if you need to, so you can bring that new you forward and you're not dragging behind that energy from this year too. So start thinking about things like that because by the time like November 20th comes, we only got 1 month left and then we're right into the new year. So yeah, those are the updates.
Yeah. Oh, that feels so aligned, the Taurus energy and what we're going to be talking about. And then also with like the Scorpio energy. And, it's funny, I brought up my jewelry business at the top of the show, and that is something I need to close the chapter on. Like I have a whole room full of that chapter of my life that I need to go through. And I feel like that would be the perfect time to close that off before the new year. There's something holding me back, but I need to unpack that on my own time.
It was a big thing for you. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big part of my life, something I was very proud of. And it's just, creative outlet that I really love. So, but yeah, when you close a new chapter, another chapter opens and you have more energy. Because I feel like when there's a chapter open, your energy's leaking out of there. So you got to close it up properly. You can't just kind of half-ass close a book. You need to slam it shut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, write the new shit. Yeah. And we have saved a date for our next upcoming Reiki circle. So it's Monday, November 17th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So we don't change time here in Saskatchewan. So if you've been showing up to those circles at a certain time, just know that it is going to change for you. It looks the same for us, but it's going to be different for you. So always Google what time is it in Saskatchewan.
Yes, please do. We hate for you to like get the time conflict that happens.
And we would love to see you guys there. They're so much fun. We've been doing a lot of guided meditations, and it's interesting because the topic of the guided meditation usually comes to me about a couple days before the Reiki circle. I try to plan ahead, but I just kind of feel like it organically happens. And last time I guided everybody to meet their spirit guides, and if their spirit guide had something to share with them about their Reiki journey. So I thought that was really cool. So I'm excited to see what comes up for this next circle. So I really hope you can join us, because the first half we open the floor to any questions or any shares that people wanted to have. And yeah, we're starting to build a community, and we were seeing familiar faces, and yeah, we just love it.
Yeah, it's awesome. Okay, let's get into the episode.
Yeah, all right.
So we are going to talk about things that we have done to kind of get our businesses up and running. We've been kind of hearing a lot of things from people who are, maybe kind of going through the struggles or like getting clients, and what can they do just to help support themselves and do the things that really get things off and running. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, and I think a good place to start is with yourself. And I know it's not the most glamorous, sparkly thing to start with, but you are the core of your practice. You need to make a strong container. If you think of a container that is going to hold a tomato plant, you need that soil to be amazing soil. So whatever seed you plant in there is going to grow, and it's going to grow amazing fruit. And the soil, isn't as fun as, planting the seeds and everything like that, but we need to get that soil right. So I feel like that is really tuning into your own energy, doing self-Reiki, meditation, getting clear on your intentions for your business, your clients. What else would you...
Yeah, giving yourself self-Reiki, even Reikiing your pets and your plants, like all of those things, close family, you're just really getting used to that energy. And the stronger or the more you work with it, right, the stronger the energy is going to feel, and you're going to feel more confident in what you're doing and being ready to really hold space for other people. Yeah, you really have to do like your own thing first. And to be honest, you guys, Christy and I did this for a while. We weren't like right out of the gate level 2 and then taking clients. We were both like, oh, yeah, we just did not feel ready. So give yourself some grace to kind of get things settled first.
Yeah, and that's so true. Like looking back at our journey, it's not like we hopped in right away. I think you were taking more clients than I was. I was really holding myself back as I was building through being really shy and not having that confidence. Even though I know I have these intuitive abilities, it was just putting myself forward. I really had a hard time with. So moving through that, of course, was a lesson. And of course, being on the other side, you see things more clearly. But yeah, it was something I had to move through myself, because honestly, if I didn't move through that, I wouldn't be on this podcast sharing about my journey. I would have been more closed off, more shy still. So that was part of it. Yeah, cracking out of that shell.
Yeah. And it wasn't paying clients, you guys. These were like, please come, bring me a coffee, bring me some baking. Yeah, these were like, my time is my exchange. And yeah, they weren't paid.
No, not at all. And yeah, mentorship with Reiki. Do you want to touch on that? Like finding somebody that is, really aligned with you and what you vision for yourself and your practice. And, sometimes when we do work with a mentor, they're there for us at that time. And then sometimes we grow apart, or sometimes they'll be with you on that whole journey. It really depends.
Yeah. And you know what? I have met some really key people who I've had one session with. that were people that were more advanced than me doing the thing and inspired me in some kind of way that really helped me tweak my journey. So it's so funny. I really appreciated having those sit downs with those people, and they were all different kinds, which is funny. So like Christy and I have had a lot of like mentors along the way, which have really helped us. And I personally, like, I know we both like we want to help the next people do that. Obviously, that's why we have the podcast. And I offer that even on my website too, if you want to connect with me and just kind of get things rooted and grounded. But it is really good to help people like and help you figure out, maybe you have your own like special niche when it comes to Reiki and what you want to be like specific to, like maybe helping women with pregnancy and then getting pregnant and then helping them with Reiki while they're pregnant and then aftercare, like something like that is just like so specified that you hone your gift in. So, just things like that can really help give you clarity working on one-on-one with someone and just meeting someone who's doing the thing. It's also super inspiring, right? Like it really helped expand us to know like, hey, she's doing it. That means we can do it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. I look back at those different sessions with those different healers and different modalities I dived into. And, you never meet somebody by accident. They don't come into your awareness for just no reason. They are there to help you on your path. So just really honor that. If you've been thinking about, I really want to book a numerology or human design, or just know that if you do go down that path and it feels like aligned to you and you invest in those types of readings, just know that sometimes those are little pieces to the pie, or not the pie, the puzzle on your journey.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we can always outsource too much as well. I know I've done that where I wasn't listening to my own inner voice. And when that happened, I was getting readings that didn't really resonate with me. It was nothing against the reader. It was me and what's going on with me. I needed to tune back into myself. So that's also something that can happen, that you already have everything within you. You just need to wake that up.
Yeah, there comes a point now where you have to stop searching outside yourself. It's good to get that guidance. And then it's like, okay, you need to sit with yourself now and figure stuff out too.
Yeah.
That was we both had to learn that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like out gathering the seeds and the fruit and then coming back home and then unpacking that.
Yeah. Okay. So we also kind of mentioned this, but like, so start small, like offer sessions to family and friends and get the feedback. This is really important. Like you need to have people who aren't afraid to hurt your feelings. Okay. So like my spouse was a really good person to practice on because he's not afraid to, like if I was trying something new or I'm like, hey, I want to like try this. Like, can you be, this person? Because sometimes I want to like try new things. He'll just tell me straight up like, hey, slow down. Or I don't like that. Don't do that. Like, it's just so like not personal. It's business. And I really appreciated that feedback. Because if I was like giving Reiki to like my best friend or even Christy, right, she might be a little bit more gentle. She doesn't want to hurt my feelings or, things like that. Friends can definitely do that. So make sure you find good people to do that with. And these are like, thank you for helping me practice sessions. You don't charge them.
Yeah, I think that is a really good point to have that honest feedback because, a lot of people, they don't want to hurt your feelings like, hey, I didn't like when you were over my throat. That didn't feel nice, like different things like that, or you did this. But that's how we learn and grow, is through that criticism, I find, and when it comes from that heart-centered place that they want to help you on that journey, just know to be open to receiving that on your end because it helps through the process. And then we also want to touch on like, how do you know when to start charging money for your services?
Mm-hmm. So like too, when you're doing those free sessions too, you also don't feel bad about the results maybe. Because you're like, oh, it's free. So I don't feel like maybe they didn't get this profound session that you think you should give them. So that also helps build the confidence. And, I found that when I started to realize that, I was like, whoa, that was really great. And I didn't get compensated at all. I was like, I need to start charging. Because like, I felt like this confidence that like, okay, I shouldn't be doing this for free anymore, or an exchange. It was an exchange because I wanted something for my time. But I was like, this isn't feeding me anymore. I'm not excited.
Yeah. Yeah. It feels more like a chore than anything. Then it's like, that's when you need to reevaluate, be like, okay, why am I feeling this way? I need something in return. And when you start charging, say, 40, $50 or whatever feels right to you, and you start to see that abundance coming back in for your time and your gifts, it's just saying to the universe that, hey, I'm worthy. I see myself as being able to help people on their journey. I feel like I have a gift and I'm going to awaken those gifts in other people. And then it's going to come back tenfold. I find when you really have that confidence in yourself and in your services, that is huge.
Yeah. So I can't really say like I have a set number. You need to have 100 practice clients. Like, I think it's honestly different for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. You like just trust your knowing that, like, okay, this doesn't feel awesome for me now.
Yeah. And if you do that work of, going to your soil and your container, you are going to know in yourself when to shift that. So that's why that inner work is so important.
And like, honestly, somebody who's doing like a client every day and they're in that flow of that energy almost like daily, let's say, and they did 50 sessions. Well, honestly, that's going to get you farther than someone who does like 50 sessions over like 2 years. You know what I mean? Or even a year. So it's like, yeah, that person's ready. They're ready now because they've been like constantly in the vibe. So they're just like strengthening all their confidence and their gifts rather than taking the slower route.
Yeah,
so,
like the start and stop. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. And team, so when I first paying client was actually a friend of mine, bless her, wrote me a check for $40. And I still have that check in my Reiki room as a symbol of my jump off. And it was like the best feeling of life. Like, I can't even begin to tell you. And if a lot of you probably have checked out our prices online, and mine are $100 right now. And I love that price. So it's just like, what a great starting point that I was at. And I'll never forget. I love seeing that check in my room. It's so symbolic to me of actually taking the leap and charging. Like, it's a big deal.
It is a big deal. And I remember that day. And I remember how excited you were. And I love that you kept that as like a symbol. Like, hey, this is where I started and this is where I am now. And it's just showing the universe that, hey, I'm worthy of this abundance too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right. Another thing we wanted to talk about was creating like an intake form or an aftercare guide, because it shows like professionalism and that you care. So I know you do this, Amanda.
Yeah. So I have something that, like, especially because a lot of clients are online and distant. So I do have like a box that, like, a checkbox being like, I have read and understood that I am not like licensed to give advice. This is a holistic treatment, kind of just like things like that. I also have a blank consent form too that I give to my students that they can use. And that is also kind of more of a legal thing, right?
Yeah.
To kind of ensure you. And then the aftercare, I love to send a message to my students after they've been attuned, which reminds me I need to do that today. Or like clients after a session too. It just shows that, like, hey, hope you're feeling good. Here are some things you can do for aftercare. I personally love receiving it. So I think it's a good one to give out after.
Yeah, I think so too. And I haven't been like, I tell people to drink water and like, kind of take it easy, especially if it was a heavy session. So I kind of have it tailored to how that session goes, how their aftercare tips will go. But just having, like a really pretty PDF on Canva where people can just, read through the tips that you share to everyone. I think that's just a nice way to close the session. And it does look professional.
That's very good point, even for me, because I'm still hand bombing my check-ins, but like having just a set PDF, like, that's perfect. Having a response. I even think some people have it set up with their booking that it's an automated response, like the next day they get an email. So
I like that.
You can do things like that. So it's not even sucking a time or energy thing out of you. Yeah.
Yeah, set it and forget it. I kind of like those things. That's what I do with like some banking stuff, automatic payments come out so you don't even have to think about it. So next subject would be about like trusting our intuition in our sessions and not needing those sessions to be perfect. And I know we talked about our do's and don'ts in that other episode a couple episodes back. And, I was kind of worried that it was going to, put a lot of pressure on people to be perfect, but that was not the, intention of that episode. I just wanted to share like our experiences and what to be mindful of. And, if things happen, you bump the table and someone farts, like who cares? Nothing is meant to be perfect in that moment. Things happen for a reason. Can't say that's happened, but you never know.
That's so funny. Hopefully it's dissonant. If that's the case.
Well, you're releasing energy. It's moving.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah. I mean, really, I'm burping sometimes. So I just feel like it's more socially fine. But yeah. Same thing. But yeah, and it's funny, like talking about just starting and like not being perfect. Christy and I recently were getting complimented about our first like few episodes in the beginning. And like, I'm sure if you guys have listened to them, you can be like, wow, these ladies have come a long way. But like, and we did still pull our first episode because the sound quality, we were just so unimpressed with. So that's why we redid it. But it's funny how some people just really appreciated those episodes. And maybe, we were the harder critic. So it's glad that we just rolled with it and started it. So trusting your intuition really does also come with time too. So even sometimes when I get an answer from spirit, I will still check like my cards, or I have like a way I can do like a yes and no check, like with my body too, because I still sometimes second guess. And we've been at this for how long? I had a client the other day who still like will double check with her pendulum because she trusts that more than she does like the voice coming in to her. So that's a really great way to build that trust. And with time, you'll slowly start using the pendulum less and less because you'll just know the difference and you'll feel better about using it.
Yeah, just trusting that inner knowing. And it's so amazing to have these tools to help us on our path. And sometimes these tools will fall away. I remember when I did a Reiki session, I had to have my tuning forks, my crystals, my cards, my pendulum, like candles, the whole 9 yards. But I did a Reiki session last week at my condo in the city, and it's not set up for Reiki at all. So I had my bear on the carpet. I was sitting on the carpet, and that's all I had. And it was an amazing Reiki session. So it's just like, sometimes we need to let go of some of those tools, and sometimes they can hinder us from listening to our inner voice. But I understand when you first start, those tools are very comforting for, finding out those yes or no's, or finding a deeper meaning on something. So I'm not trying to poo-poo any of that, but just saying you can do it both ways. We don't need all the tools.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, let's talk about some real practical things about creating an online presence, of course, right? People don't know you exist. How are you going to get more clients? So, and two, just talking about maybe like social media here a little bit, since I'm flowing right into that. When we were really nervous to get ourselves out there on our own social media pages, we separated our personal accounts and we started a business one because I figured that, people didn't sign up to follow me on that kind of a front. So I created a new page and I said, hey, like I started a Reiki business, and if you want to follow me over there, here's my page. Like, so it's available on my personal account that I never go on anymore. But people know where to find me. And then I always stick to Reiki. I'll share about my life a bit. I definitely could be better at this. But I try to like stick to Reiki or stick to like similar things, like my hypnosis things in the spiritual realm. Like I'm not bringing politics into this. Like I feel like that's not what people are signing up for to look at my Reiki page. So I kind of try to stick to my knitting. Like I stick to my field. And then people who don't like your stuff or they think it's too much, they'll mute you. They'll unfollow you. So don't be afraid to put yourself out there. It's okay to be seen.
Yeah, 100%. That was something that I had to work through, is like sharing parts of my journey, and it was really vulnerable, but I don't know, just trust what you're sharing in that moment. I don't know. I'm not the expert at this because I'm still trying to figure out my own Instagram. I go hard and then you don't see me for a couple months because like I cannot force a post. And I will notice when people have those forced posts, they're just posting to post something that day and it doesn't get a lot of engagement. So I can't plan ahead. It's on a whim and how I feel that day. And I do want to share with people like little things about my life. But then on the other hand, sometimes I'm really private about my life. So I'm trying to find that balance there, because it is cool when you follow different people online, and yes, it's their business page, but you get a little bit of behind the scenes. I really enjoy that. So that's something I always have in the back of my mind, but I do feel called to share more on Instagram. And I have been getting a lot of downloads of how that's going to look. I actually get a lot of my downloads while I wash dishes, which is so funny, but I guess washing dishes is very grounding. I read that somewhere the other day and I thought that was funny, but yeah, just do what feels right to you. Don't follow what somebody else is doing. If somebody's posting every day and that doesn't feel right, just post how you feel. Like, it doesn't need to be an energy drain. You need to look at it as like a business tool to get your voice out there, to share what you can do.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't compare what someone else is doing, because I know a lot of women in like our Saskatoon community that are like crushing the Instagram. And
Yeah.
sometimes I get super envious and I'm like, oh, I'm almost exhausted trying to think about how I would keep up with this. And I'm just like, oh, I just can't. But like maybe I'm not ruling it out, but yeah, I'm like Christy and I are the same. Like we'll get some good fire and we'll go, and then it's like, and it fizzles.
Yeah.
But I know being consistent and getting your face out there, honestly, really is the key, because people need to know you're out there.
Yeah, big
Period.
time. Yeah, I agree with that one. And then about a website, a landing page where people can find you and read about your story and your offerings, I think is really important, but I wouldn't sweat it right off the hop. Instagram has a lot of, options to share posts about your journey and about you and your offerings. So I feel like the website is kind of later down the road, but of course, if you feel called to do it and you're a creative person and you really love that part, because I love creating things I love the whole graphic design thing. So I actually had my website created for free because somebody was starting their website business. And then I kind of went in and put my own touch on it after a couple of years. I still haven't launched it. That's in the works, of course. So I'm not really a good person to talk about getting this going.
Fire, though, you are the creative one between us. So like when I had to do my website, I was like, this is like, it just felt like grueling to me. But like I just went on Wix. That's what I use for my website. And it's super user friendly. I had a friend too that just knew like a smidge more than me. So she helped me get stuff off the ground and put in like the search engine words under some of my stuff. And like it's nothing like fancy. I don't have like moving images and all the things, but like people know about me. Here's my offerings. There's a link, a little button where people can book online, and we'll talk about online scheduling. But yeah, and this was something, again, we didn't develop probably till like 2 years after we were really serious. I just, for whatever reason, didn't want to bite the bullet and pay for a website. But we did it. Like, I was just like, okay, do I want to do this seriously, or do I like, all serious business people have online booking and they have a website. You need to have those things, is what I finally came to, but I was energetically there. It wasn't at the beginning. I would have felt like this was a waste of money.
Yeah, because it is an investment to work with Wix, and it is an investment of time for sure. And, even to hire somebody to build the website for you, that's a big investment. But I think it's something, if you're serious about it, it is a good thing to have in your arsenal to invest in that part of the business for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Online scheduling. Mm-hmm. What do you use?
I use Schedulista. I think that's how you say it. And of course, it's American money. So in Canadian, I think it's about $26 a month. But I was looking through other ones, and it seems like they're like 18 to 25, depending if you pay like the annual rate or not. And I really enjoy it. It's super user friendly. It takes the payments. It sends out the text. Like, I don't have to do anything on my part. It's got all the client's information there. I feel like an online schedule is like something to do 100%, because, I used to have somebody I'd go for sessions with, and it'd be like probably 5 texts back and forth, 5 emails back and forth until we landed on a date. And that's a lot of time for you to be checking your calendar. And if you have a busy life, it's like, just set up that calendar on your scheduler at the beginning of the month and pick off the days that you want to work. And then as things come up, stay up to date and update that calendar as you go, because that was something that I learned. I didn't have a lot of clients right off the hop. And then I would plan something Saturday afternoon, and then all of a sudden someone would slip in there and I'd be like, oh crap. But so it's just like being mindful of your energy and where you're booking yourself. So it's an amazing tool. I really love it.
I agree with you. Sending the 5 texts back and forth to try to align something for a client. Yeah, it definitely frees you up energetically too, and really sets that tone for your business. So yeah, I use Acuity for mine, and I think I just pay a yearly fee because I don't know what the monthly is, so it must be yearly. And yeah, so the only thing is like if you're making a schedule and you want to block time off, like I learned this the hard way. I'd be like, oh my gosh, how did somebody get in here? And it would be because I wasn't on top of my schedule. So you do need to be on top of it, and then it's good learning curve. But yeah, again, I didn't really get this till probably about the same time I got my website up and running. And then it was like fees. And I was like, but I know that it was just like so necessary. And Christy's right. Like you need to do this for sure, especially if things are like picking up, obviously, to the point where it's like, okay, time to get organized. Like if you're still in the kind of beginning stages, you can probably get away without doing this for sure. Have people contact you on Instagram, set something up that way, no issue. But also to collect payments too, like this is really good, especially if you're dealing with clients from all over. Gives them the option of a credit card, PayPal, and things like that. So yeah.
Yeah, because I remember like my first client in Australia, she's like, how am I going to pay you? And I was like, oh, I don't know. We can't do e-transfer.
Yeah.
So I had to set up, so my Reiki clients, I have it set up where they pay afterwards. So I send an invoice through PayPal, and that has seemed to work really well. PayPal does have some fees depending if they pick as a business or a friend. There's something on their end that can waive the fees, but PayPal I find is very easy to use, and yeah, no complaints there.
Yeah. Okay, so one of the last things we really wanted to talk about was finding a balance between working your Reiki side gig to make it into something full-time while you're already working a new job or working your full-time job, or just trying to find good balance in life in general, maybe with your spiritual practice, if this is your only job, and just like having a life and family and all friends, all the other things too. So this is definitely something Christy and I are still getting the hang of. We've really had to be real with ourselves. We both have families, we both have commitments. Christy's taking her homeopathy course on top of everything else. So it's like, we're both very busy. So what are you doing, Christy, right now to kind of help find balance or have boundaries even with like your business and life?
This is such a challenge for me because I want to help everyone. I want everybody to have an amazing journey, amazing readings with me. But I had to be real with myself, like you said, where I need to block off time for myself to recharge my batteries, to tend to my container and my soil and water my plant. And on the other end of that, I'm going to be better in my readings. And I find that it is like a running thing in the back of my mind that I have to always get these readings done. And I just I need more discipline in when I'm going to do things, because sometimes things come up and then I push things back. And then before you know it, the whole week is jammed up, and then I'm stressed out and I'm overwhelmed. And it's just like, oh, what am I going to do? So it's just a really being intentional about your calendar and being realistic about how many people that you can see before you get burnt out. Because working 40 hours a week and then having a life on top of that and then adding this on top, it's a lot of moving parts. And I know Amanda and I have shared that we have always worked 2 jobs. So we're not a stranger to doing, closing down work at 5 and then hopping into another job. Like we've done this for years, but I just find that things are becoming more busy and I just need to be more mindful of my time and discipline.
Yeah, me too. I really have to manage my time well. So as you guys know, I wake up at 5. I wake up at 5 to edit the podcast when we have one. Because honestly, if I don't do it then, I won't do it in the evening. I usually work in the evening. I have set out certain days like Monday and Thursday for sure. I work. I have to share my time with my spouse too, which is something we are both still working on, of course, about how if I'm working every evening, that puts him at a disadvantage if he wants to do stuff and, he has his own life too. And then we want to make sure that, like, I always take clients at 7:45, so my son is in bed at 8. So I try to get most of my evening with him, of course. That's also really important to me. And then on the weekends now, like literally after how many years in, me and my spouse figured out, okay, it's better if I take clients in the morning so it frees up our whole afternoon. So that also helps me. So I take a client at like 9 and then a client at 11, or else I'll teach just in the morning and then it frees up the afternoon. So if he needs to do something, if we need to do something, we have all that family time. And then like when you set days off, like I can be really bad. Be like, oh, I never book clients on Tuesday. And it's not so I can fit extra ones in last minute, which is what I've been doing. It is supposed to be the day off. It is supposed to be the evening off. And so my goal now is like Tuesdays are a no-go booking evening for me. I really need to be firm. Like I'm just like, Christy, we just want to, like, people text me, I have a really hard time being like, oh, I'm sorry, like that's my earliest date. Because I know if they're like texting me or reaching out to me personally, it's like, hey, they need something and they need it now. It's like I'm at my zero end here and you just feel like, oh no, well, let me hold you and help you. But honestly, like that's not good for us. So finding that balance, you guys, it's really hard to figure out your boundaries, especially when you're starting up a business. You almost energetically feel like you can't say no to people. And how am I going to grow things if I turning people away? You got to find a good balance and worry and work on yourself too. Like you don't want to get lost in it.
Yeah.
And it's just a season. So
that's so true. That's so well said. And the boundaries, those will come up. There will be people placed in certain spots for different reasons. Like I actually was setting more boundaries with my time and pushing my calendar back to get caught up. And I had someone that was like, oh, I really want it for my birthday. And I was like, oh yeah, that would be nice. But I stood my boundary and I was like, I have to stick to my schedule. I'm sorry. So this is what we're going to do. Like, and trust me, it will be worth the wait. So, when you go make an appointment with like, say a hairdresser or something, we want to treat everybody equally. Just because we work in the spiritual space and we have these big hearts, it's like we still need to honor our boundaries. And, it's not like, hey, I really need a root touch up. Can you see me tomorrow? And they'd be like, no, you need to book like everybody else does,
Oh my God. And you know what? I just know if I want a haircut, it's like I got to plan ahead.
Yes.
So it's right. It's the same thing, Christy. You're better at this than me. You are something like I'm learning from you always with this. Like it's so true. I don't know why I have a harder time with this because it's right. It's so right. And then it's just like, okay, people know it's good. You just got to lay it out there. You got to stick with it. Lay it out there at the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting path, those boundaries and different people that you come across. But it's all learning. And it's just sometimes a test, I find, that see if you pass or fail.
No pressure. It's always testing you. Yeah. All right. Well, I think those were like our main tips. If you have any more for people that worked for you that you've been doing, like get us on our Instagram when we post this episode. Like get in the comments and tell people, oh, I did this and this was the key. Like we love it. So Christy's going to end us with a card pull to end our episodes. We always do a card pull at the end of the episode, and it is Christy's turn to give us some insight and wisdom to carry on with your day and week.
Yes, I'm doing the honors, and I have like 5 decks in front of me, and I was like, I don't know which one to use, but I don't even know which one this is. The Angel Guide? No, I don't know. Well, I'll post them once I figure out which deck this is. But anyway, so I pulled 3 cards. And the first one is White Eagle Ancestor Spirit. So connect to your lineage. A family wound or pattern can be healed now. And as this is coming up, I feel like, just coming off the cusp of Halloween, I feel like our ancestors are really close. They've never been closer to us other than the time right now. So if you've been having dreams about loved ones, random memories, songs coming up, just know that your ancestors are nearby. And I feel like they are wanting to be honored in some sort of way around this season. So if you want to, even if you have a picture of an ancestor and you light the candle and you just like say a little prayer to them, or if you say a prayer before night, like just some little way to to honor your ancestor at this time, ancestor and ancestors, I feel like would be a really beautiful thing to do. And I actually did a meditation where we grounded our feet into the earth, but then we also visualized our roots extending sideways to our ancestors through the dirt in the ground, which I thought was so beautiful because our ancestors are now part of the earth when you think about it. And I just thought that was a really amazing practice to do. So yes, if you're feeling called to connect with your ancestors, definitely listen to that, because I know I was just sharing this morning about how I really wanted to connect with my grandma, because when I think of the wisdom that she shared with me when I was in my early 20s, you're at a different point in your life. You're not, having those deep conversations about life. And the grandmother, is very wise. And to sit down with her right now and have these deep conversations, she lived through life. She lived it. I want to know more. And as I was saying that to my client, I heard my grandma say, you can still connect with me in spirit. So that's kind of my clue to connect with the ancestral realm. And the next one, so this is funny because this card popped up when I first grabbed the deck, put it back in, shuffled it, it came up again. So this one is Mercury, open communication, get a weight off your chest, speak up with love and be heard. So I feel like this is tuning into the boundaries that we talked about and just getting real with yourself when you're starting your own business and just knowing what you want to do and where you want to go. I find that I kind of was blindly just going through the motions and I didn't have an intention and a clear goal ahead. And that brought up a lot of different roadblocks. So however you seem fit, I'm being brought to the garden again and this whole aspect of building that container of soil first. You know how exciting it is to go buy the seeds and plan the garden and everything like that, but you're not paying attention to that soil. So it's just really getting clear on your intention with your business, what kind of clients you want to attract, and what kind of business owner do you want to be. And I feel like that is the perfect soil to grow that perfect tomato plant. I know it's so funny to talk about this metaphor, but somebody in my early years brought up the tomato plant metaphor and it has stuck with me. And I probably bring it up a lot in sessions and people are like, well, this is weird, but it just makes sense that the love that we give to that soil and then the love and care and intention we bring to that seed that we plant in that soil is going to bring a way better plant and it's going to bear better fruit. And then as we take that fruit, it's abundance and we're nourishing ourselves. So it's just, it's a huge metaphor there. So just really get clear on what you want out of this business. And then the next card is the Sacred Self. Oh, I can't even say this word, like the Shekinah. I can't. Yeah, I'll show you the cards on Instagram. Sorry if I mispronounced that, but she says, unleash your spirit, express your gifts, and dance to the sacred rhythm of life. So what's coming through is like that fear of being seen or that fear of being heard or, just being weird. Because, some people don't understand this work and some of us are scared to speak up about it, but just know that you will find the right community and you will find the right audience. It's just putting yourself forward, putting yourself out there first is a really, daunting experience. Unless you have Leo energy, you're not scared of any of this at all. But with my experience, it was very scary for me to put myself out there, but just know and trust that if it comes from the heart, if you're not, really leaning on things to write stuff for you, for your post, if it's coming through your heart, it's going to hit somebody else's heart. So just know that to be in alignment with sharing your message and sharing your voice and sharing your offerings, it has to come through your heart. So I'm not saying that it's not okay to outsource and, use different tools that are beneficial, but just know that the best way to reach people is through your own heart. So just really listen to that and your inner knowing, because you know best.
Just about finding the community. That's been a big one lately.
Yes. Community has been huge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And you can always find it online if you can't find it in person as easily. So know that there are people there.
Yeah. Come join our Reiki
messages.
circle.
Plug. Yeah.
Shameless
Yeah,
plug.
that's awesome. And if you wanted to find that Reiki circle, it is on our booking. I think it's on my booking. So I'm Reiki with Manda. We always have it on the Instagram with a clickable link. So come and join that.
Yeah. And you can find me at the Birch Soul.
Right on. Okay. Thanks, everyone. We will see you next time.
Yeah. See you guys next time.
1, 2,